This is All India Radio Kurseong. We bring you an interview in English on different aspects of Buddhism, its philosophy and its impact on the current global problems. This interview was given by His Holiness the Sakya Trizin Rinpoche, the throne holder of Sakya School of Buddhism, who is currently on a 15-day visit to Darjeeling, Ghoom.
Your Holiness, Sakya Trizin Rinpoche. First of all, we would like to express our deepest gratitude for your gracious darshan and giving us your precious time to communicate with our listeners. Your Holiness, you being the present throne holder of Sakya sect of Buddhism, kindly enlighten our listeners in brief the main message of the Sakya school of Buddhism.
You see, actually, Tibetan Buddhism, basically all schools are same because all are Mahayana and also all are combined with the Tantrayana. At the same time, there are of course little differences, and the one thing that we can pinpoint straight away, the difference is that the lineage is different. Say like original guru in India, and then through the translators, and then how the teaching has been passed down from one guru to the next. And so since the lineage is different, that the certain emphasis or certain things are somewhat slightly different. The Sakya school's main original guru in India is Nagarjuna and Mahasiddha Virupa. Mahasiddha Virupa is a very great Mahasiddha in India, and his particular teaching, which is known as Lamde, which means actually the path which includes the result. And so that is the main teaching of the Sakya school.
Your Holiness, the world today is moving towards a confrontationist path and massive production of destructive weapons. In this connection, please tell us relevance of the different teachings of different dharmas, and especially with special reference to Lord Buddha's teaching of love and compassion.
You see, actually, we normally say the time is changing, but actually the time is not changing. Actually, the beings are changing, the human beings are changing. And then due to this, of course, outside things are also changing. And the human beings, that we have so much defilements like hatred, jealousy, pride, desire, etc. So when you have such defilements, then of course outwardly due to these defilements, it creates actions like physical actions and verbal actions. And when you take actions, then all these problems which we are facing today, with so much destruction and so much wars and crisis. And so for this, I think the Lord Buddha's teaching of universal compassion, the need, how much we need, I think it is the most effective antidote, because the teachings of the Buddha, the main purpose of the teaching is to tame our mind. The Lord Buddha gave enormous amount of teachings, but the main purpose is to tame our very wild mind, the mind that is so easy to involve with such defilements. And so therefore, that through the teaching tells us that how harmful these defilements to oneself, to your family members, to your friends, to your neighbors, and all in all. And so the best way to calm this the defilement is then it tells the universal love and the compassion. The love means actually the word love means that a sincere wish that every sentient being to be happy and to be with the cause of happiness. Just as like oneself wish to be happy, that every sentient being also have the same feeling. And so therefore that we wish not just oneself, but for all sentient beings to be happy and to be with the cause of happiness. And then on the compassion means that focusing on a specific sentient being that who is suffering, who is going through the suffering, and that one wish, the sincere wish, that sentient being to be free from suffering and free from the cause of suffering. And so when you have these two things, the universal love and the compassion are the two most important, the root teachings of the Mahayana. And so when you have these, then on the basis of this, then rises what is known as a bodhicitta. The bodhicitta means, actually in English we normally translate it as the enlightenment thought, which means that every living being, irrespective of your friends or relatives or enemies or any different races, not every sentient being, without any distinction, that every sentient being to be happy and to be with the cause, of happiness, and to be free from suffering and to be free from the cause of suffering, and to be every sentient being to be put into the path of happiness, and that is the enlightenment thought. And I think that when it explains with the logical reasons that how important to cultivate the universal love and the compassion logically, and then we see that how important, how much we need to practice such things. And so I think that is the correct answer to the present world problems.
Your Holiness, we would like to know the message of peace and harmony propagated by Lord Buddha to live in harmony with nature and protection of environment for the well-being of humanity.
You see, actually the Lord Buddha, when he first created the enlightenment thought, when he first resolved to attain the enlightenment, that he resolved to attain the enlightenment for the benefit of all sentient beings without any exceptions, that every sentient beings. And so therefore, and then in the meantime that he accumulated the great enormous amount of merit and wisdom, and finally then he attained the perfect enlightenment, where he is departed from all forms of obscurations, and that he have obtained every possible qualities, so that the Lord Buddha possessed the infinite wisdom, compassion, and the power. And so the Buddha, of course, actually gave many different kind of teachings. But if we sort of summarize, or if we make sort of like divisions, then there are two main divisions, the Hinayana and the Mahayana. The Hinayana teaching is that the Hinayana teaching is that one should not harm any sentient beings. It is wrong to harm any sentient beings. And Mahayana, on the basis of that, not only one should not harm, but one should help other sentient beings. And so that is the way, because the Lord Buddha says that that our consciousness is not something that created out of nowhere or out of without any cause or from the incomplete cause, that each and everything must have its own cause and also complete cause. So that our present consciousness also has its own continuity, and so that individual mind, that there is no such time as the beginning of this particular person's mind. It is from the beginningless time. So therefore every sentient being is in fact actually our mother and father and very close relatives. But due to the change of life that we do not recognize, and we see some as a friend, some as an enemy, and some as indifferent. But in reality, every sentient being is actually, including our very fearful enemies, are also actually our very dear mothers and fathers and so forth. And so but due to the change of life that we do not recognize. So that first of all, that we must know that every sentient being is actually our mother, and then also we must remember not only that they have become mother, but also they have given us so much care and love as our present mothers have given. And so on the basis of that, then we must not harm, and we must try to help every sentient beings. And so I think that in this way that one could live in harmony with nature. And so also when you have, of course, when you have to love every sentient being, that where sentient being is living, the place also, like the forest, and also the like to have a pure water, pure air also, of course, it is a part of our life, and so therefore it is very important.
May I know, Your Holiness, your message to the youths of today so that they do not resort to misuse of drugs and addiction to alcohol?
Yes, I think this is also very important, especially the youth are like from every point of view, because they are just as physically that they are growing. I think also it is their mentally state also have to grow in the emphasize a lot how harmful to take alcohols or to take any kind of intoxicant like drugs, and educate to tell from time to time that how harmful these are through various ways, perhaps through publications and through different shows, through different lectures, and so in this way that people are sort of aware, especially the youth are sort of aware that these things are very, very harmful. And so I think in this way that they can eliminate such behaviors.
Would you kindly enlighten our listeners the significance of white sex?
Sa means earth and the Ka means white, because it is the place where the first this particular school was founded was in a place called Sakya, and there's a huge mountain which is like a shape of elephant, and in the center of this has a white patch. So the original name came from there. It is actually a name of a place. And this particular place, when very, very long time ago, first of all, the Guru Padma Sambhava, when he came to Tibet, he gave the prophecy, said that in the future there will be a great monastery will be established here, and that it will be benefit to many sentient beings. And to protect that he built 4 stupas in each direction. Then afterwards, Baldan Adisha, another very great Indian master, came, and when he reached that place, that he did prostrate, although it was a complete wilderness, there were nothing else, but when he saw this white patch, he did prostrations, and also he made offerings. And when people ask why he is doing this, and he said that on this earth he see one syllable or letter Shi and 1 letter Hum and 7 letter Dis, signifies that in the future there will be 7 emanation of Manjushri, 1 emanation of Avalokiteshvara, and 1 emanation of Vajrapani. And so these great masters will emanations will establish the great monastery and then propagate the Buddha Dharma throughout Tibet, and it will be great benefit. And then later on, when Lamasa, actually it was the Kunjo Gyabo who founded the Sakya order, and then his son Sachin Kunga Nyingpa, the great Lama Sakyapa, when he is sort of formally established. And then as I said, our main guru is Guru Brahma. In his pure vision that the whole of this mountain was covered by Guru Brahma appeared and covered the whole mountain and gave very profound and esoteric teachings. And so it was the original source of this particular teachings. And in relation with the other schools is actually we have a very close relations with all the Tibetan schools, because Sakya school was founded by the Kön lineage, Kön lineage, and Kön lineage were actually believed to be the direct descendants of the celestial beings who from the heavenly realms came to Tibet and settled, and then later they involved in Buddha Dharma, and that Kön Nagendra was actually the direct disciple of Guru Pema Sambhava, and ever since then for the early Köns were all Nyingmapas. So therefore we have a very special kind of a relation with the Nyingmapas, because original Köns, early Köns were all Nyingmapas. Then after many generations they felt that it is important necessary to establish a separate school which was founded Sakyapa, and we still practice some of the ancient or the Nyingmapa teachings still together even now, and so therefore we have a very close relation with the Nyingma. And then Kagyu also, the Sakya and Kagyu are almost established almost same time, and that we have so both actually belong to the what is known as a new Tantra, and we both practice the same kind of deities and the same kind of tantras, and so therefore we have also a very close connection. And then the Gelugpas, the founder of the Gelugpa, Lama Tsongkhapa, have actually studied most of his Sutrayana practice as well as Tantric practices in the Sakya monastery, and many of his gurus are from Sakya, so therefore we have a complete connection with each major schools of Tibetan Buddhism.
Would you kindly enlighten our listeners the essence of maintaining mental peace and satisfaction and happiness in today's tense life?
I think actually the need for the need to study and contemplate and meditate the Buddha's teaching is most needed in today's life, where there are so much tension and so much the crisis and so many things happening. And so I think for this, the Lord Buddha's teachings, which gives us a complete peace, inner peace and inner harmony, that how it gives, because the teachings of the Buddha, the most emphasize on the meditations, and so only through the meditations one can find the true peace and harmony. And so the meditation has of course many different levels, but the very first things is like concentrations, when our mind is so busy with the many different things, and so that we must bring first to a point that mind actually rest, actually mind is sort of steady, and so it is called concentrations. And so when this concentration that we gradually develop, and then so that one's mind is completely steady, and then on the basis of that, then we bring the wisdom that to see the true nature of all phenomena. So with the two things together, concentration and the inside wisdom combined together, and then one can get the realization.
Your Holiness, your comment about influence of politics in religion.
I myself think that actually there are two kinds of politics. There are kind of the ordinary politics, which is actually created out of defilements like desire and jealousy and competitions and so forth. This kind of, I think, politics is a very very bad thing. I think it has no any qualities. But then there's another kind of politics, and that is actually a very sincere, genuine and love and compassion to the masses, and in order to really help to the masses, that you take a political how can I say, like Mahatma Gandhi. Like example is like Mahatma Gandhi. He was involved. He was taking a lot of responsibilities, but at the same time, he was a great saint. And so like his way of doing, like combining the politics and the religion, and that although it appears as a politics, but in reality, actually, it is a religion, because his main aim is not for himself. His main aim is to help the masses. So I think the main aim of the religion is also to, especially the Mahayana teaching, is to help the masses. But the other kind of the politics, that is for the selfish kind of thinking, that is, I think, has no connections with the religion.
Your Holiness, I would like to thank you for giving us this golden opportunity to interview you for our listeners. Thank you very much.
You've been listening to an interview with His Holiness the Sakya Trizin. It came to you from the station of All India Radio, Kurseong. The interview was produced by Mr. Thupten Chakrishar and Dolma Tsering of Tibetan Unit.